Hello and welcome back. We are back in the booth today. I am solo again. Jason is out on assignment, or actually just out on holiday for Thanksgiving, but we've been working like crazy to track down our guest today. He's been as busy as we are, so we're pretty excited to have Jordan Namuth on the show. Jordan is the owner of Outy Obsession. Him and his brother both started that. We'll talk a little bit about Jordan and some of the things that those guys are involved in. We were lucky enough, Jordan came out with us elk hunting this year, so we've spent some time in the woods, which is always good. But what's up, dude? How we doing?
Good. It's good to see you, man. You need to get back this way and do some hunting with us.
I know. Well, I live vicariously through you because I've been working too much and you're way too close to hunting access, closer than I am. So Jordan is, he's been out. I know you've, I think recently you were in a goose pit. He was scouting and killed an antelope with his bow, scouting mule deer, killed an antelope with his bow, and then last weekend put down a deer with his brother and doubled up. So let's start there. Let's talk about about that. Tell us a little bit about those hunts.
Yeah, like you said, we kind of got a lot of access out here wherever I want to go, about an hour away. So super lucky. One of the reasons why I never left this area, to tell you the truth, after Cabela. So. But no, my main goal was a goat for like 3 months. Got 3 dudes on some goats. Was awesome. Then you and I and our buddy Darby and Jason went up elk hunting. Darby got a drawback. We didn't, but that was cool. It was super fun. But no, got on this goat. We were scouting for muleys. My brother was coming out, so I thought I'd run out there and kind of check out the land really good. And the wind had him in a perfect spot. Luckily, I had my bow with me, and, one thing led to another and got on him really quick. So that was awesome. First time I got drawback on anything all year. Kind of made a good shot, which I was super nervous about, but it worked out. It all panned out. But, no, my daughter was the next goal. She's got rodeo, basketball. If you have kids right now, it's insane, especially if they're anywhere from 8 to 12 years old. We're chasing them constantly. So I had one little window to get on any kind of deer. I told her it could be, a spike to anything giant to even a doe. We're going to take it down, whatever we see. And we were lucky enough to get on a whitetail that morning, but the nerves got to her and was shaking really. Ran out of time on this little. It was a decent whitetail for her second deer, and that one ran away. Didn't know if we were going to get another chance, and we did. She got lucky. She's a super lucky hunter, so that's why I take her with me. And watched a muley jump the fence on some private we were at, and 20 minutes later he was on the ground. So
that's
we were
awesome.
lucky there. And the same day, my brother and I doubled up. So these last 2 weeks, I could probably be done the rest of the season, and not even worry about it. So I got a lot to clean still got them hanging. So I get that done, but. Yeah, man,
That's awesome.
It's been a good year. Now amping up for some goose hunting. So
yes, and we've talked a little bit about that. Jordan has some roots actually with Cabela's. We'll kind of talk a little bit about that next. Worked for Cabela's a long time in their headquarters in Sidney, Nebraska, and if you know anything about that area, it is some of the best waterfowl, goose, and duck hunting that exists, outside of looking at, doing some flooded timber hunts and some things like that, or going to Canada or anything. And so we've been talking about trying to get out there and jumping in a pit with you. But let's talk a little bit about, Cabela's and your experiences there, what you did there, and how, I think that I've always been amazed in the conversations that you and I have had just at what that has provided for you in network and the people that you've met and the experiences that you've had through them. So start a little bit about, talking about Cabela's.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to get on them right away, right out of college, and it was a great company. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say anything bad about them at all. It's a kind of a tough pill to swallow for a lot of us, not just myself, but corporate America is what we went through. But the industry was insane, and the guys at the top of the industry were all in one building. It was nuts. And luckily, a lot of them are still here. So Next Gen Outfitters in Sidney, Nebraska is still full of a ton of those Cabela's guys I work with. Great guys, so check them out, nextgenoutfitters.com. you can get them with anything. Lured in here in Ogallala, you know, these guys started something insane. You know, it's like a Maverick gas station with a Cabela side of it. And again, the top guys in the industry, and you can find whatever you want. These guys are amazing. So that's a block away from my house out here. So that's super cool. But, you know, like you just said, the networking, dude, we traveled everywhere, all over the nation, hunting and fishing and outdoor videos. And, you know, I was able enough to, you know, lucky enough to be part of that. And I've just kind of used that through Outy Obsession as well to get back in touch with those guys. And it's amazing to see where everyone's gone from even the last, you know, 8 to 10 years, what's happened and where they're at now. And, you know, some of them guys, we just jump back into it. You know, you jump in a pit or jump on a boat with them, and it's like we'd seen each other yesterday, you know, and we haven't talked for 5 years. But no, lucky enough to keep a hold of those guys. But you know, it was a bad thing at the time, but now everyone's kind of branched out to do their own cool little thing going on to help each other out. So it was a cool experience.
Sure. And I think, you know, that kind of leads us to the next part of the question, which is, you know, you leave Cabela's, you and your brother start Outy Obsession. If you haven't seen them, pretty easy to find. You guys have this slew of people that, you know, I think have expanded or extended into, you know, what that company is about and kind of what you guys are trying to do there. I know we always kind of go back and forth a lot of times on social media and stuff like that, and just supporting kind of the mission of what you guys say is getting Outy. Talk a little bit about kind of how that became what it is. I know your hat there's got the representing right up top. Absolutely. Talk a little bit about that and what you guys do, and you know, kind of the game plan or the mission with Outy.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, it just kind of started as an idea. We're not just hunting and fishing. You know, we're kind of a huge, broad brand in the outdoors. Our number one goal is to bring your outdoor passion out, whatever that might be. You know, whatever you have outdoors, we want you to just pursue it 100%. Can't shoot a deer on the couch, so get up and get Outy. You know what I mean? Type of deal. Whether that might be, you know, fishing, hunting, obviously, but not just hunting. It's whatever hunting. Are you a whitetail hunter? Are you mule deer hunter? Elk hunter? You know, goose hunter? Waterfowl? And it goes on and on and on. You know, you could pursue kayaking, hiking, whatever it is. Get Outy is kind of what we went after, which is awesome. But we kind of what we started doing was we really wanted to build the brand and take over Nebraska. Being located here in the western end of the state, we really wanted to push our brand throughout Nebraska. And then we started slowly branching out everywhere else, which was cool. You know, we've shown up in Mexico, we've showed up in Canada. We've been all over the place, which is awesome. And you just kind of see our hats all over. But we've taken a different turn to really push kids and veterans in the outdoors big time. We really want to help the veteran industry, which is awesome, but kids mostly. You know, I was part of Pheasants Forever for a long time, and just watching those banquets decline in hunters and decline in the younger side of it, even my generation. You know, I was emceeing banquets, and I was the youngest guy there. And I understand that it was super expensive, but just to see, you know, the audience there and the decline in hunters and fishermen and decline in even kids in the outdoors really made us decide to take a turn and go a different route. So after the first of the year here, we're going to try something new, and hopefully that helps us out. We're not looking to blow up. You know, that's not the main goal. The whole goal is really just to push people to the outdoors 100%. And if we can do cool things and sell merchandise around that, that's just a bonus for us. But
yeah, and I think, you know, just the tagline, if you will, is really the mission, right? Which is encouraging people to get outside, right? Like, we spend so much time indoors. We spend so much time on our computers. We spend so much time working and on our phones and doing all these things, as you said, you know, chasing kids, and we're going to games and things like that. And a lot of times our connection with the things that we can be doing external, and just even, I think about it from what I do, and understanding what, even just the underlying factors of exercise is, and being outside and getting vitamin D, and, and all those things do for health and well-being and all that stuff. And I think that, as I kind of interpret what, getting outy means to me, it's like those things permeate in all those directions, right? And it's not just like you said about like, oh yeah, it's all about hunting and whatever. And to even identify, like you said, just looking at kids and veterans, right? We get contacted, and we're lucky that we have a really good network within what we do as a business with a lot of veterans and a lot of people that are in active military. And there's such a huge amount of them that the outdoors especially becomes a great outlet for them when they get through the military, right? Or, when they come out the other side. And then, as you said, with the future, like looking at the future of hunting, the kids and the youth and stuff like that, that's going to be the lifeblood for our ability to continue having the efforts that so many have put forth for so long to, continue supporting the sport of the outdoors. And that if we don't do that, there's a lot of things that really kind of take our kids' time and focus and things like that away from what those experiences and things like that can be. So I love that. That's why I think you and I have hit it off. We've got a lot of conversations about those things and just what you guys are doing. And I think, we're excited to keep kind of supporting each other because, it's fun for one. Sharing the message is a huge part of it. And then looking to the future is also so critical, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we got a lot of, my dad never realized how big of a hat he was wearing, pushing out to the outdoors, and it's our job. No one's doing it except the parents and the influencers. There's no one out there pushing kids. These kids are on their phones and their iPads and TV constantly. It's just, if we can get in front of them in any kind of way is the main goal. And that's, again, I don't want to push hunting and fishing. I hope we do. But at the same time, just getting outdoors and doing whatever it is to get them outdoors is the main goal. So,
yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about, elk hunting, because I know this was our first chance to kind of get outside, and you came with us. And I'm curious, kind of, obviously you've had time to like digest and look at the week, and it was a hell of a week. I know we've talked about it on some previous podcasts, kind of how the year went, but like from an outsider perspective coming into our camp, I know you've been elk hunting before, probably with some way more skilled people that have better land than we do. But talk a little bit about like just, how you, felt about the hunt, other than the fact that, we still have to get together and make up our big bowl of tag soup for most of us. So
I know. No, number one thing, I realized how out of shape I was. I work out every single day, but there's nothing you can do to prepare yourself for those mountains. It's insane, but love it. You get all the way down the bottom, you're super motivated. Darby dropped that one earlier, and I just remember searching for a blood trail and looking all the way back up that mountain. I'm like, we're going to go all the way up this with nothing. And that trek back up just killed, but no, it was a blast, man. It was perfect weather, We finally got rain for the first time ever. You guys were saying it's never rained on you before, so made it a little difficult, but dude, what an area. Yeah, we were in. They were on top of us constantly. If we didn't have any luck, that's how hunting goes.
Yeah. I mean, I think for a lot of us, I know between you and I and Darby and even Jason, this year was kind of like the tribute thing with Darby's dad and all that. And we're like, hey, let's go back to where, he went out with us last, and, we'd had success in that area. There were some things that were out of our control, like, that border being fenced that we had no idea of before we get in there. And we go into a place where we're 8 or 9 miles deep. And by that time we're pretty well committed. And so from that point, it was like, well, let's make it work. And we kind of know where we think we should be. And so there were some circumstances, but like you said, I told people where, talked to other guys that have been out and like, we heard a few bugles here and there. And I'm like, dude, we had mornings, we heard like 50 in a morning.
Dude, that first morning was insane.
Yeah. So, and that's hard to beat, right? Like I always say, that's the kind of stuff that no matter what, like if that doesn't fire you up, then you're completely doing the wrong thing.
Dude.
Yeah. So we're working on some new stuff. The real question is, if we get things lined up for next year, are you coming back?
Yeah, 100%. I'm nervous about the tag side of it. You know, the over the counter thing, they're all over the place. So hopefully,
Yeah.
Colorado, please keep it over the counter so we can have it next year.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, we've talked about this a lot lately. Even, you know, just being a resident, like I look at other states and I look at what Colorado's doing. Obviously, Colorado's the easiest state to come to from anywhere else, right? As far as like being able to acquire tag and go out and hunt, right? And that's a good thing and a bad thing, right? And obviously you see the discrepancy in cost and being a native. I even have said that I think our in-state cost needs to go up. I think we as residents here, we should be paying potentially double what we pay now, you know, and if we do that, and you look at efforts like within conservation and some of those things where I'm like, they need to narrow the pot. And if it means that we have to pay more in order to increase or improve the experience for everybody, then me as a person that looks out for the future of hunting and everything else, like I'm on board with that. Like I have no problem, especially when I think about guys like yourself and Darby that come out here and I'm like, oh yeah, you paid like 10 times as much as I did. I'm like, dang, you know, and that's why Darby's probably shot more elk than the rest of us, because I always feel bad if he goes home empty handed compared to me. So I'm like, yeah, you know, and at the same time, when I get home, the old lady's like, maybe you should shoot one of these days. She's like, Darby needs to share more meat.
Yeah, exactly. Darby's the luckiest one out of all of us, I guess.
That is 100% true. That dude I've never seen anybody walk into more elk than that guy. Yeah, and exactly. Maybe that's my problem is I'm always hunting with Jason. And then we get back to camp and Darby's like, oh yeah, I shot one this morning. Yeah. Like 2 years ago, same thing. Like we go out opening morning. We had an extra cow tag. He's like, yeah, we were walking through this drainage. A cow walked over and I frontaled her at like 30 yards. I'm like, what?
I know.
Are you kidding me? Like opening day, you know? And I'm like, I have yet to ever have that happen to me in like, I don't even know how many years we've been elk hunting.
I know there's a bunch of groups out there that have that one lucky guy, and ours was Darby. That's for damn
sure. 100%. The only person outside of that I've seen is that maybe even more so than that is his freaking brother.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've been fishing before with him and I'm telling you, dude, everybody in the boat can be just sitting there with, you know, the same gear, hunting, you know, or fishing the same depths, you name it. And we're all just sitting there just staring at each other. And Dusty's over there just like, wham, got one, wham, got one. And you're like, what in the hell is going on here? Like, so, yeah.
Outdoors. Just fall.
Yeah. So anyhow, well, what else you got coming up? I know you said you're talking about getting ready for some goose hunting. I'm hoping that we're going to find a way to get out there and hunt with you. Have you been out yet doing that?
Yeah. So we got lucky. Thank God we got all of our deer Saturday. So we, you know, woke up Sunday and said, hey, let's head to the pit. And they flew amazing. So we shot some geese Sunday. First time we've been out yet, which is awesome. This is the latest I've ever not gone goose hunting. So everything's froze up this way. It's supposed to be hotter this entire week, so hopefully that, you know, melts a little bit. So the duck, because we have ducks and geese everywhere, which is nice. But a lot of hunts set up. Got a lot of buddies coming out. I got a guy, one of my good friends, Jake from Big Frig, is coming out with some of his guys. So that's super awesome. You know, I got some guys from PRCA coming out, NFR coming out. So it's going to be busy. But you know, you just hope that when those guys do come out, that everything flies, you know? And we're not
100%
sitting around staring at each other. But you know, we make it fun. It's a blast. So yeah, whenever you get a plan, dude, you just let me know. We'll make it happen.
Well, you know, the good thing is they're not paying you a guide fee, so they can't be too pissed if they don't freaking crush them.
Exactly. I'm just a super great friend.
Exactly. Well, we had a buddy of ours on, Chris Watts, who he owns Western Heritage Hunt Club, and he actually come to find out he actually has some land that borders Nebraska and Colorado right there at Julesburg. And so I was like, aha. And he's got some really, really good properties for some snow goose hunts. Have you done any snow goose hunting?
So we did a lot growing up. You know, you had the whole set up, the trailers and the decoys and the everything like that, you know, but I got out of it really quick when my kids were born, because it was just like, you know, why am I doing this anymore? Setting up, you know, 3,000 decoys at 3:00 in the morning just to take them all down, you know, maybe shoot 25, maybe shoot 250, who knows? But no, I don't do it as much. I still get, I think I get invited most of the time because of the decoy situation. It's just another body to come out and help tear
Right. Yeah.
you know, so I'll go out with some of my friends, but they get on them out here, dude. There's a lot of snow geese even right now that has shown up. So kind of excited to hear again.
Well, and I think, you know, when we were growing up, like nobody really shot any snow geese when we were younger, and that's really evolved. And now it's like I drive between Denver and into western Nebraska, and the amount of like snow geese and just geese in general in that flyway has just like exploded compared to what it used to be. And of course there's some down years and weather and climate and stuff like that plays into it. But I've never killed a snow goose. And so I'm working on trying to figure out how we can get out. And I've told Chris, I said, if we go do that, I said, I'm going to call Darby, I'm going to call Jordan. Like, we got to have them come meet us, because we need to get, you know, in one of those hunts together where, you know, we'll film it, we'll do the whole 9 yards, and just, you know, it's closer to you than it is to me. So, you know, we'll end up probably just driving back to Ogallala, because it's only about a 15-minute drive to get to his property from your end instead of ours, which is going to be like 2.5.
Yeah.
But
because all when we come back to Ogallala is just go to bed. Period. Get ready for the next day.
Exactly. So,
but no, dude, it's a blast. I'm excited this year. Hopefully, we can set that up at least, because if you haven't shot one yet, you're going to shoot 50 that day.
I hope so.
Be ready for it.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. We just got to carve out some time. Probably get some opportunities during the holidays, hopefully, to make that happen. And I know you're on a little bit of short time, but talk a little bit about you know, what you guys are hoping to do. Obviously, number one, I think, is, you know, how do people find you guys? Reach out to you guys. I know you guys do a lot in terms of, you know, hats and t-shirts and things like that, and a lot of people tag you guys in hunts, but like, how do people find you guys?
Yeah, I mean, all over social media, OutyObsession.com or BeOutyObsessed.com, and then Outy Obsession on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. You know, our YouTube channel obviously needs to get way more, but you can find us anywhere. Like I said, we got a lot coming up around the first of the year, so super excited about those announcements. Can't say anything yet, but I mean, it's coming. We'll see. It's going to be the first of the year before we know it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to link back up with you. You know, we're getting ready for some stuff next spring and summer with like Western Hunt Fest and stuff like that. Total Archery Challenge. You got to help me get Darb's like off his butt to come to that next year. And if he doesn't, you should come alone. Because we'll have a good time with that. But man, it's good to catch up with you and hear what you guys are doing. It's always fun to kind of live vicariously through people that are hunting a lot more than I am. That's for sure.
It seems like it, dude. Don't worry.
No, I know you're busy outside of that as well. But you know, since we've got back from elk hunting, we've been out. We duck hunted once. And we've just been working on other projects, you know, we've been doing stuff in the booth here. We've got some things, some reviews coming up, some stuff that we're like so far behind on. And I'm just like, man, like I got to get some more time to get to some of these things so that we can get outy ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully next podcast, we do it live around the table, some whiskey.
Maybe. That would be fantastic. I would love for that. So we're going to hopefully be back in your neck of the woods around Christmas time. If we do, obviously we'll link up then, and really encourage you guys to go out and follow Jordan and his brother and everything they're doing with Outy Obsession. Check them out, buy some of their swag, subscribe to all their stuff. You know, let them know that you're paying attention and watching what they're doing, as well as just support, you know, just the message. I think I love that the way that you guys have framed how, you know, you're just trying to put a positive spin on people getting outdoors and enjoying it and getting kids involved, and I love the veteran aspect of it. So appreciate you, brother. It's good to catch up with you. We'll look forward to talking to you soon over Christmas, and thanks for your time, because I know it's like we've been talking for like, I don't even know. It's been like at least a month to try and find like 30 minutes to sit down.
Exactly, dude. No, I appreciate you having us on, man, and we're looking forward to the next one.
100%. Get out of y'all. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in, and on to the next.